Great distances and many years separate us from many of the wars we think of on occasions such as this. Though we name this day Remembrance Day, and though we wear our poppies, for many of us, remembering is difficult because we weren't there. We didn't live it. As time goes on, fewer of us have lived it, and most have only read of it in school history books. It is difficult to relate in a meaningful way to the sacrifices and losses of generations before ours. And so here is why we must remember. Those of you who have spent time with me in classes here at St. Lawrence College know that I have a great appreciation for storytelling. We tell stories to share our experience, and we tell stories to preserve our shared history. It is often said that your health is your greatest gift, and maybe it is. But let us spend a moment acknowledging another of the greatest gifts we are given as members of a free society. We are given the freedom to create our own story. Each of us has the great opportunity to craft the narrative of the time we will spend in this life. And like it or not, great stories never happen to those who cannot tell them. With this in mind, I want to share with you why I remember the servicemen and women who have given of themselves and served in World War I, World War II, Korea, the Gulf War, Iraq, Afghanistan, and all the other wars and conflicts between, in which Canadians have been called upon to contribute toward a safer existence and better future for the vulnerable, the persecuted, and the oppressed. I remember them because they gave up that great freedom to write their own story. They willingly sacrificed this, one of their greatest opportunities as a Canadian, to become a smaller character in a much larger story. Knowingly, they submitted themselves to a world where rather than pursue a program of study or a career path of choice, as many of you are doing here at St. Lawrence College, they would live according to the commands of senior officers, the needs of persecuted people in faraway lands, and the demands of a world in which there were and are far greater forces than their own needs and desires. Today we gather on Remembrance Day, the first official Remembrance Day having been designated at the end of the First World War by King George V of England in November 1919. In order to pay tribute to those who had fought and died for the Commonwealth forces in World War I. The following year, a simple poppy would come to symbolize the blood spilled on the battlefields of the Great War, a small, brilliantly red flower that grew in abundance on the fields where so many young lives ended, every one a story untold and cut short. That a small flower could be endowed with so much meaning is a remarkable thing, and yet every year we are moved deeply by the unified show of appreciation and remembrance from all those who wear the poppy in November. 20 years after the first Remembrance Day, at the outset of the Second World War, British Prime Minister Winston Churchill would in a single sentence capture the importance of remembering on this day. He said, "Never in the field of human conflict was so much owed by so many to so few." Today, we pause to pick up the story and continue telling it, for all those men and women who gave up the chance to write it themselves. This is why we remember.
In Flanders fields the poppies blow, between the crosses row on row that mark our place, and in the sky the larks still bravely singing fly. Scarce heard amid the guns below, we are the dead, short days ago. We lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe, to you from failing hands we throw. The torch be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep though poppies grow in Flanders fields.